Food support for millions of low-income families is at risk if the government goes into a partial government shutdown.
The White House said this week that people who rely on the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, also known as WIC, could begin feeling the impact within days of a shutdown. That shutdown deadline is this weekend. We are joined by Julie Cassidy tonight, who's a senior policy advisor with the Michigan League for Public Policy, which has pushed for more government action to fund WIC. Thanks for joining us today, Julie.
Thank you so much for having me.
So start by telling us, what do you think needs to be done to safeguard WIC and those who rely on it?
Well, WIC is facing several uncertainties, both in the short and long term right now. The most immediate concern is that the government will shut down if Congress can't come to a budget agreement before Sunday. What we've heard from state officials is that they do have some remaining WIC funds to continue providing benefits for the time being, but we're not clear just how long those resources are going to last. So I want to make it clear we don't need to start panicking just yet, but we do need Congress to come to a quick resolution so that the state can feel assured that it can continue serving all eligible families, and the families in our state for whom WIC is so critical will know that the program is there for them.
Yeah, and looking at the long term, we know that there are millions who do rely on those services. What kind of impact could we see if there is not some kind of decision made?
Well, WIC has provided nutritious food for nearly half of Michigan children from birth through age 4 last year. In Wayne County, it was closer to 2/3 of kids in that age group. And it's even higher in many communities, especially in northern Michigan, upwards of 80 or 90% in some cases. So WIC is a critical support for parents and kids all over the state. They really need access to this food. It is proven, we have decades of research proving that WIC saves lives, reduces infant mortality, and saves a lot of money in healthcare spending. So, if we want our families to be strong and kids to have the food they need to do their best in school and grow up to have lots of opportunities in life, we really need to keep investing in WIC.
So you guys have been pushing for more funding, more action to fund WIC. What has that been met with? What's the response, and do you think it is a priority for any of our lawmakers?
I think it is a priority for certain lawmakers. There's a faction of Congress that is very focused on reducing government spending, but taking food away from babies and toddlers is not an effective way to do that. As I mentioned, WIC saves a lot of money in healthcare. So if you're worried about government spending, WIC is a very wise use of taxpayer dollars. I think there is a recognition of the value that WIC provides, but we really need all of our members of Congress to recognize it as a priority and fight for it, because WIC serves families of all political stripes in every community. So this should not be a partisan issue.
You mentioned not wanting people to panic just yet. Have you been getting any calls from families that are a little concerned about the grim future possibly coming into sharp focus without that help?
I haven't personally ever received any of those calls, but we do have a lot of partners who work directly with families across the state. And I know that, some of their clients are definitely feeling anxious as they are, because they want to be able to continue serving families. Those benefits from WIC really do make our entire community stronger.
So without panicking and without knowing when that funding could dry up, are there other options that people should be looking into?
That's kind of hard to say at this point, with so much uncertainty. There are, of course, local food banks that people can turn to. However, with the pressures of inflation and the increased need over the last couple of years, our food banks are also feeling the squeeze. So really, our congressional delegation just really needs to hear that this is a dire need in our communities. These benefits are life-saving. And so they really need to make it a priority and reflect that in our federal budget.
All right. Well, we thank you for your time and expertise today. Julie Cassidy, Senior Policy Analyst with the Michigan League for Public Policy. Thanks again.
Thank you.